Alright, now we want to do 3 meals a day. Why such a big deviation from when I used to have people do 6 meals a day? The reason is because when you do 3 meals a day, you take advantage of certain fat loss hormones, specifically growth hormone and leptin, when you wait longer stretches in between meals. You also allow your body to fully digest all the food that you've eaten at the last meal. If you keep filling your stomach full of food, your stomach is always trying to digest food, and that takes energy away from the rest of your body. There are also some issues, and I'm not going to get into the big complications here, but if you have food in your stomach and you keep the blood sugar elevated, then your body's going to burn the sugar out of the blood before it can actually access the fat out of the body. So when you wait longer stretches, your body has a better chance of getting done digesting the food, and so turning its attention to actually taking fat out of the body as an energy source. So taking the stored fat your body has, releasing that out of the fat cell, and then using those as an energy source. And the body can do that. It's actually really good at doing that. You have to sort of train it to do it. But one of the things you got to do is wait longer stretches in between meals. So we're doing 3 meals a day here, and we're sticking as best we can with 3 meals a day. Now if you're absolutely about to fall apart and fall to pieces because you need food really bad, have a snack. Just keep it a low carbohydrate snack, like some kind of meat and vegetables ideally. You can do raw vegetables. You can do deli meat. You can do some leftovers of a meat that you have from another meal. You can do either of those things. You can do a tiny amount of nuts. Nuts, I would have no more than a 1/4 cup of nuts in a day. You can roast them if you want them to taste a little better. Don't worry about the salt, but I wouldn't have much more than a 1/4 cup of nuts in a day, because they do have a lot of carbohydrates in them, and we're trying to control the amount of carbohydrates that we have every day. Okay? So out of these 3 meals, meal number 1 is breakfast. That's just protein and a complex carb. Now you have the serving sizes. They'll be in the notes here, but I'll go over them. Serving of carbs is typically 1 cup of whatever it is. If it's a potato, it's 1 medium-sized sweet potato or yam. Or if it's 2 red potatoes, if they're smaller, you can do 2 red potatoes. But if you were to dice up or, what's the word I'm looking for here? Make hash browns out of the potatoes, grate them, then you want to take about what fills a cup. So that's sort of mentally what you're going for. About the size of one of your fists. I know some people have bigger fists than other people. My fist is a little bit more than a cup, more than likely. Your fist is probably, if you're a woman, your fist might be a little bit less than a cup. If you're not a bigger guy, your fist is probably about a cup, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe a tiny bit more. But you're shooting for about a cup of any of the carbohydrates that you have. And then your protein source is going to be 20 to 40 grams of protein. If you're looking at eggs, that's 3 to 6 whole eggs. Don't worry about eating the egg yolk. It's a healthy thing. It's been demonstrated time and time again. Again, you have the mainstream media. They disagree on all this stuff and they go back and forth. And then you have sort of the professional nutrition realm, the highly regarded realm, the scientific realm, and they have not deviated on some of these things. And eggs is one of those things that they have not deviated back and forth on. So look to the positive sources of information, the professional scientific sources of information, and that's going to give you a lot better info, and you won't get so confused about stuff. 3 to 6 whole eggs, that will give you 18 to 36 grams of protein. You're shooting for about 20 to 40. Or you can do some meat. And meat, you want to stick with about 3 to 6 ounces of meat. And 3 ounces of meat is about the size of a deck of cards. So 6 ounces would be the size of 2 decks of cards. Or about the size of the palm of your hand minus the thumb and the fingers. Again, everybody's hand's a little bit different sizes. About the size of a deck of cards is 3 ounces. 3 to 6 ounces of meat. And if it's for breakfast, I tend to like, if I'm doing meat, I tend to like the ground turkey or the ground chicken best, because it's easier to prepare and it's easier to eat. I don't like eating a chicken breast for breakfast because there's so much chewing involved, it takes too long. So 20 to 40 grams of protein, which is 3 to 6 whole eggs or 3 to 6 ounces of some kind of meat. Don't do dairy. If you don't eat meat or eggs, then you need to wait until I come out with more information on a vegan plan. And I'm working on that right now, so I will come out with that. If you're a vegan, don't pay attention to this. You can just cut the meat out, figure out some other source. If you're a vegan, just make sure you stick with the no list. No sugar, no alcohol, no wheat, no dairy, none of that stuff. Okay, for right now, if you're a meat eater, this is a little bit better designed for you. So that covers breakfast pretty well. Now let's talk about lunch and dinner. Now this is fairly simple. Again, it's a salad, some kind of greens, some kind of vegetables, meat, and then either olive or udo's oil, and then whatever spices you want to add. So you're looking at 1 to 2 cups of greens. Spinach and romaine I think are the easiest. You can do kale if you like kale. I have a hard time chewing kale. I don't like it that much. So spinach or romaine, 1 to 2 cups. 1 to 2 cups of vegetables. Can be raw, can be steamed, can be sauteed, can be cooked in the oven. You can juice vegetables if you want to. Get your 1 to 2 cups that way. That works out okay. I like to add them into the salad because I can actually chew the food. Chewing food is going to work a lot better. And you want to have 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil or udo's oil. You can pick one or the other. Don't do 2 tablespoons of each of those. Do 1 to 2 tablespoons of one or the other. If you're a bigger person, if you have a bigger appetite, do 2 tablespoons. 2 cups, 2 cups, 2 tablespoons. If you're a smaller person, smaller appetite, 1 cup of greens, 1 cup of vegetables, 1 tablespoon. And you're going to put 3 to 6 ounces of meat in this one. You can do the eggs again. You can do the ground meat again. You can do ground beef if you want to. Beef's not a bad thing, even though a lot of people say it is. It's not. You can do fish if you want to. You can do chicken breast. I like to cut up the chicken breast, put it on top of the salad, and mix it all together if I do a chicken breast. I also like to marinate my chicken breast because that makes it a lot easier to chew and eat. I don't like dry meat. I'm guessing you don't either. You can do chicken thighs. You can cook a whole chicken, just rip all the meat off, and get about 3 to 6 ounces of that meat per salad. And then you want to add on whatever spices you want to add. So sea salt, pepper, garlic powder. You can do lemon powder. You can do cracked pepper. You can do turmeric. You can do cumin. You can do thyme, sage, oregano, cilantro, parsley. Any of that stuff that you like, load it up with spices. Give it a good amount of flavor. And I like to mix it all in there before I eat it because it gives it a lot of really good flavor. So the salad with the meat and vegetables, that's going to be your lunch and dinner. Okay, that's real simple. Breakfast, protein and complex carb. Lunch and dinner, salad with meat and vegetables, a little bit of healthy fat, and a lot of spices. That covers it. 3 meals a day.